Natural Born Killers is the story of Mickey Knox, played by Woody Harrelson, and his wife Mallory, played by Juliette Lewis. Mass murderers who go on a killing spree across America, including Mallory's own mother and sexually abusive father, played by Rodney Dangerfield of all people, and they always leave one victim alive to spread their fame.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
They get captured a couple of times, but always get a way out of it, and amidst this madness, you've also got Wayne Gale, played by Robert Downey Jr., who hosts a TV show based on serial killers, creating a cult following for the couple before joining them and losing his mind towards the end. Detective Jack Scagnetti, played by Tom Sizemore, who's obsessed with them despite his own dark past, and Warden Dwight McCluskey, played by Tommy Lee Jones, who is determined to kill the duo himself. The movie was, of course, based on a screenplay written by Quentin Tarantino about a murderous married couple.
Because it's so much fun, Chan! Get it!
He attempted to direct it himself but failed, so he sold it to some producers who then sold it again to Warner Brothers, which sparked up the interest of Oliver Stone. He and producer Richard Rotowski rewrote the screenplay, which was originally focused on Wayne Gale, and changed it to focus on the couple instead, and the script was changed so much Tarantino only got credit for the overall story.
Oh my god!
It's not going to be my movie, it's going to be Oliver Stone's, and God bless him. I hope he does a good job with it. If I wasn't emotionally attached to it, I'm sure I would find it very interesting. If you like my stuff, you might not like this movie, but if you like his stuff, you're probably going to love it. It might be the best thing he's ever done, but not because of anything to do with me. I actually can't wait to see it, to tell you the truth. Unfortunately, after the film's release, Tarantino allegedly hated the movie until one day bumping into Johnny Cash in an elevator, who claimed, "Me and my wife are huge fans of yours, especially Natural Born Killers."
Shut the fuck up!
The original ending was to actually have the duo get killed, but Stone changed it, stating that the 90s were a time when the bad guys always got away with it. Initially, he wanted it as an action movie that, in his own words, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be proud of. As production began development, the O.J. Simpson case, among others, became public, and the director felt like the media was heavily involved in the outcome of these cases and manipulated violence and suffering for the sake of ratings. Michael Madsen was considered for the lead role, but Warner Brothers wanted somebody less intimidating with a softer personality. A pussy. They wanted a pussy. So then they cast Woody Harrelson. What? Steve Buscemi and Tim Roth were both offered the part of Wayne Gale but turned it down, and rumour has it that Quentin Tarantino said he would never cast them in another one of his films ever again if they took the part. Wow! Just a bit of a dick there, Quentin.
I don't think so, but maybe you're right.
John Cusack was offered the part but turned it down. Chris Penn rejected an offer to play Jack Scagnetti so we could film True Romance instead. Gary Oldman and James Woods were also considered, and Jack Palance was offered the part of the Warden but said no due to the amount of violence in the script, and Oliver Stone wanted singer Tori Amos as Mallory. She was actually interested, with the music also being utilised, but then Stone asked to use her song Me and a Gun for when she murders someone. This is a track about her real-life rape.
Fuck you!
She slapped him across the face, stormed out, and even wrote a song about him.
Feel better with Oliver Stone till I almost smacked him singing right that night.
Rosanna Arquette was then considered before it went to Juliette Lewis. Oliver Stone originally wanted her to bulk up for the role, but she refused, saying Mallory should be a pushover and not a bodybuilder. He agreed, but he did insist on her taking kickboxing lessons so she would at least look credible for when she fights, and I guess it worked, because here she actually broke Tom Sizemore's nose for real. Originally the movie was given a higher rating, forcing the director to tone down the violence, scraping 4 minutes off of the running time. The movie was banned in Ireland, mainly because of some characters having Irish names, but the ban was lifted shortly after. To add to the controversy, there were many killings that took place copying the movie's events, most famously the Heath and Columbine high school shootings. Even more closely, in March of 1995, 18-year-old Sarah Edmondson and her boyfriend Benjamin Darras took acid and watched this movie. Later that night, Sarah shot a store clerk while Benjamin killed a manager. Film producer John Grisham was a close friend of that manager and personally accused Oliver Stone of being irresponsible when making the movie, and that the filmmakers should be held accountable for their actions. They actually filed a lawsuit against him, stating that he incited the teenagers to do these acts. Originally, this was dismissed in January of 1997 under the First Amendment Act, but in May the next year, the decision was overturned and the case resumed. The case claimed that they intentionally invited violence by distributing a film that they knew or should have known would cause and inspire people to commit crimes. Everyone in Hollywood were on their toes for this case, because if Oliver Stone was found guilty, the entire film industry would be changed forever regarding the content filmmakers can and can't produce. However, the case was finally dismissed in March of 2001 and finally laid to rest. The movie is simply a satire on how serial killers are adored by the media for their horrific actions. Anyone who claims the violence in the movie itself is a cause of societal violence have missed the point of the movie entirely.
Now shut up!
I will say this. You will be hard-pressed to find a film as unique and different as Natural Born Killers. Throughout the film, everything is shot on a tilted angle. There's not a single straight shot in the entire movie, and there's also so much frantic editing which may take a few scenes to get used to, but once you do, it's quite refreshing to see such a unique style. It often cuts to black and white, back to colour, showing cartoons, comic books, commercials, etc. Stone claimed that the coloured shots are what's happening in reality, the outer world, whereas black and white is what's happening on the inside, the inner world. The commercial shots were to show how comforting commercials can be. He plays one after every horrific moment to show that they work to soothe people after being shown something so extreme. These are clever and unique ideas, and I feel like it gives the movie its own identity despite obviously being inspired by Bonnie and Clyde. It's its own film. It has so much dark imagery, bizarre cutting but entrancing shots. It's truly mesmerising. It has an amazing musical score for all of the intense action scenes. It's fast-paced, it's exciting. Woody Harrelson is perfect for this role. He brings a cocky edge to the character, but also an endearing and interesting aspect rather than just an arrogant murdering douchebag. You want to get to know what goes on in his mind and find out how his brain works. The dialogue is also written perfectly.
It's just murder, man. All God's creatures do it in some form or another. I mean, you look in the forest. You got species killing other species, our species killing all species, including the forest, and we just call it industry, not murder. But I know a lot of people who, deserve to die.
We all deserve to die.
A lot of this dialogue was inspired from the real-life interviews with Charles Manson, but Harrison makes it his own entirely. Robert Downey Jr. is great, even with an Australian accent.
Do you think that those nitwits out there in Zombieland remember anything?
It's quite weird seeing him in such a bizarre, campy role like this.
These prison boys throwing the Constitution straight out the fucking window. You and Mallory may be killers, but nuts? Insane?
One of the coolest superheroes of all time, folks.
Tomorrow they won't claim my mind of dumping the fucking syndication because they feel what I say is dangerous. Where does it all end?
Thank God he got better. As the movie progresses, Downey does get an awful lot better though. When he sides with the killers, he gets caught up in the action and he's having a blast. His acting is tremendous at that point. Juliette Lewis as Mallory is great. She shifts from a sweet, innocent look to psychotic murderer so naturally. In my opinion, even better than Kathy Bates in Misery, and I love her in that. Juliette Lewis gave this role her all and made it her own, even with her ad-libs.
Kiss me, squeeze my nipple.
You're so specific.
Yep, not written. By the way, what dude wants his nipple squeezed? What? Also, this guy falling under a horse and almost dying? Completely real as well and unplanned.
That's a fucking joke, right?
She is so badass the amount of time she kicks people's asses. Although she often does it after turning them on only to cockblock them. Worst way to die. With a boner. And the comedy is few and far between, but when it hits, it is hilarious.
Drop it! The gun, goddammit!
The movie had a lot of balls to tackle this subject matter, even more so because the extras were real inmates given rubber weapons. This scene with this black guy attacks this bald dude. The bald dude was a real inmate who murdered his wife and children. Damn, you got a lot of balls! Is this really how you seduce a woman? Damn. I've been doing it wrong all this time.
The way you love me got to suit my style. Oh, little baby, I will say goodbye.
That's some sweet piece of meat, ain't it?
Now, I love Rodney Dangerfield. His stand-up was hilarious, but here, he is so painfully unfunny, and the astonishing thing is, he wrote all of the material himself. I mean, he was playing a prick who molested and raped his daughter, but it's perceived as dark humour, but none of it is funny.
You're a f***ing idiot. What am I, a bad guy? Did I ever ask you to f*** my friends? Huh? And don't tell me what to do. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be slinging hash in that shithouse and fucking your boss.
Why do they censor some swear words but not others?
You watch your language.
And this whole sequence is shot like a sitcom, but I don't really get the joke, and I'm not alone. Rodney Dangerfield himself didn't understand the humour, and Oliver Stone just wouldn't explain it to him either. So basically, Stone said, right, we're doing a sitcom angle, and if you don't understand it, we're doing a sitcom angle.
My name is Mallory. This is Mickey.
Why do they tell people their real names when they're on the run? I mean, I know they want to be famous, but they're already on TV. And, you know, you're supposed to just say your name before you kill someone or spare them. They freak out other times when people recognise them, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm Mickey, this is Mallory, yeah, these are our address, come find us, we're the serial killers, woohoo!
You ain't seen nothing yet.
There's a part where this Indian gives them shelter for the night, but during a bad dream where the Indian also tries to kill the demon inside of Mickey, just go with it. He wakes up and shoots him dead. They then freak out and show remorse for this. Why?
He fed us. He took us in there.
So? I mean, loads of people have have done things for you and you didn't feel bad when you offed them. You're serial killers. You killed a guy during sex. They even freak out over this one particular death as if it's something much worse than any of the others they've caused for the rest of the film. Tommy Lee Jones is absolutely atrocious in this, and I mean really bad. You take his Two-Face performance and picture one 1,000,000 times worse, and you got this.
Oh, never God! Stick yourself in your block for a month and dream to see me! Don't fuck you! Fuck you! Asshole! You're trying to tell me what I'm gonna do if I jail. I don't care what your fucking name is! You got shit! These are the ones that die today, you hear me, Sparky? I'm gonna wipe that fucking scum off the face of the fucking earth. This is the last fucking thing I do! How far do you think you're gonna get? Right out the front door. That will never happen!
It is happening.
This man has an Academy Award. Jones did, however, state that his over-the-top performance was inspired by Moliere's play Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme, which is a satirical look at social climbing and the bizarre things people will do to achieve fame. You know, it's funny. I didn't hear anything there that explained or excused fucking awful acting.
I've been waiting for you to say that for so long.
The famous scene where Mickey gets interviewed. Yeah, why the hell was he not handcuffed? I don't care if he's surrounded by armed cops. You interview a serial killer and you don't bother to put handcuffs on him. There is literally no reason to not handcuff him. Oh, what a surprise, he escapes and kills people. Wow, didn't see that coming. Director Oliver Stone actually hated this scene because basically Mickey tells this long joke to distract the cops before he takes them out and escapes, and Stone called it so unrealistic. So, why'd you write it then? In fact, there's loads of sequences that weren't realistic. Mickey and Mallory get bit by a snake and still somehow walk around the store perfectly fine. The prison locks come undone by themselves despite the cops always checking them. And the director excuses all of these by saying the film's supposed to be unrealistic. That's literally his defense for all of the plot holes. But if that's the case, Stone, why is it an issue here?
Thought you'd be more creative than that.
During the escape, Mickey and his crew become mates with this random dude called Owen and even trusts him with guns. You've just met him, how the hell do you know he's not going to turn around and shoot you in the face? So at the end, they turn on Robert Downey Jr. and Mallory has no problem killing him. But yet the Indian guy earlier...
What did you do that for?
In fact, they even bring it up!
Wait a minute, you fucking hypocrite! What about the Indian? You said that you were done with killing. You said love beats the demon.
And he claims they vowed to stop killing after the Indian despite just murdering how many people on their way out of prison? Are you even paying attention?
What do you mean by that?
During the scene, Downey begs his way out of it and tries to talk them out of shooting him, and it just gets so repetitive. No, don't kill me, Coxgun talks a bit more. No, don't kill me, Coxgun. End the damn movie! All in all, I love this film. I don't think it promotes murder at all. I think it's more raising awareness in the media, promoting it if anything. It shows how the media can publicise and unintentionally support killers, and real life events prove this. The Columbine killers copied this movie because they wanted to be famous, and the media gave them exactly what they wanted. This film taught them nothing.
It's all pride, it's arrogance, it's bullshit.
Natural Born Killers is a well-shot, well-edited, well-acted, well-composed, unique, intelligent film that dives into the human psyche of serial killers, and I think it's a damn good watch.